Good morning, guys. No, not good morning. Good afternoon. Whenever you're watching it.
It is 12 o'clock.
It is 12 o'clock. We're back today on our podcast, and this one's special because we got Danny Figueredo from Sanguich. Not only is he a great restaurateur and amazing sandwich builder, he's also a personal friend of mine and a brother. I'd like to thank you and welcome you, Danny.
Of course, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you
and, of course, Eddie.
Thank you, brother. Nice having you. First time I meet him, but I've heard a lot about him, so it's actually interesting to have him here, ask questions.
Man, let me tell you a little bit of history about him. When I first came on the air at NBC Telemundo doing my Carrigo con Kiko segment, I met a guy who had a fucking container on 8th Street.
Yeah.
A shipping container.
It was a beautiful container.
It was not only a beautiful container, it was black, it had gold trim, calligraphy, menu. And it was amazing, and we did our first segment there.
November 22nd of 17.
And he, after that, got into a couple of
and then we got crashed by Joe Carollo, bro.
And he got stolen.
Yeah, it got stolen. Yeah, we can get to that.
At first, it was stolen, but Danny, welcome, and let everybody know a little bit about yourself before we get started.
I mean, what do you want to know?
Like for those of you who don't know you or who don't know of your concept, a little bit about your history and how you started.
Okay, so for those who don't know me, I'm a textile engineer. I studied architect. I've worked in all gamuts of design, fashion, supply chain management. Like I worked in C-level corporation. At one point, I was pretty high up there at Tag Heuer and LVMH. I was responsible for store rollouts. Traveling quite extensively. Sometimes it was like 300 days a year.
Wow.
And it was for many years. And so I got tired. I met Rosa, which is my
beautiful wife.
She's beautiful. She's smart, and she's the rock of our family, and the person who undoubtedly is the reason why we're here, right? Because without her, this all would have been just a dream.
Yeah.
So we met, and I was kind of going through a real rough patch because 2008 rolled around. September 17th, 2008 was that Black Tuesday.
Yep.
And there was a huge financial crisis. I was in a different business. I was selling. I was in the fashion business, and I was selling to Nordstrom. So I was the third largest neckwear vendor for Nordstrom under Edmendindo Zenia and David Donahue.
That's incredible.
Tell them the brand you created. Listen to this.
Cubavera.
You heard of that shit.
Of course I have.
I had those.
I used to buy them.
1998, bro. I was working with Oscar Feldenkrais and George.
Wow.
That was the first time that we met. I'm like, dude, what are you? You're a fashion guy. You're an engineer.
Yeah.
You're like this brainiac, and you want to make sandwiches. Like, yeah, I want to make sandwiches.
I got tired, man. I was traveling a lot, and I met Rosa. I was going through a shift because I practically lost the business overnight. I mean, it was a slow erosion. 2008 rolled around. I really didn't go bankrupt to 2010 because at that point I had to liquidate everything. Wow. I had a factory in Lipomo, in Como, in Italy.
Yeah.
And anyway, to make a long story short, I was in a real rough patch, and I met Rosa. She was she was an executive paralegal for a really good friend of mine who's no longer with us, and one of the other partners had introduced me to her, and it was really just an amicable, hey, how are you type of deal, and I kind of felt.
It was more like, hey, how are you?
She was beautiful. She's beautiful. Yeah, my wife is stunning. She's stunning. She's a beautiful woman. But when you get
to say that my wife is also stunning.
You better. You better.
Man, and then we started dating about I think about a year and a half, almost 2 years later. And it was instant, right? We decided to say, okay, this is something we're going to invest in. And I was in a slump. Like I really wasn't doing anything. I think I had like $38 to my name. I'd burned.
But those are like the best times. If you look back, not in that particular way, but you kind of like really find out who you are, like what you kind of like go a little bit deeper inside, and you have nothing to lose. So you're a little bit more risk. You take a little more risk or no?
I'm listening. No. You're right. No. I'm 100% agree.
Yeah. Like in those moments, like I've had moments like that. You have nothing to lose. Like,
cuando estás dispuesto a comer tierra, cuando las cosas te cambian.
Correct.
Yeah. So in fact, during that time, I'd went sabbatical for like 3 months. So I went to Amsterdam, spent some time there with my best friend, and then I went on this mission to Iloilo and Estancia in the Philippines, and we were doing volunteer work, rebuilding schools, and I was practically sleeping on a concrete floor for like 33 days, and I was really going through this like, I guess, a midlife crisis. Anyway, when I get back, I kind of like was very direct with Rosa. I was like, I want to have a relationship with you. Let's do this. Yeah, it was just flat up. I mean, I think 2 weeks later, I went downstairs to the TD Bank because she was at the Alhambra building. She was working for Colson Hicks. And I was downstairs at the TD Bank, and I called her downstairs for lunch. But before we skipped off to lunch, I was opening up a savings account. When I called her down, I was like, hey, listen, I need you to co-sign on the savings account. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, we're doing this, right? We're going to open up a savings account together. And she started to sweat.
Wow.
And she's like, I've never had a man actually take control.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then 2015 rolls around, and, we're pregnant. London is born. I get back into the work environment, and I'm kind of doing the best I can to kind of condense this, because it's my career is pretty expansive. It's 25 years. But at the tail end of it, I was a senior director for a millworking company out of Castle Rock, Colorado. And we were building all sorts of stores like Lancome, Harry Winston, you name them, all the luxury stores. But I was traveling too much. So London was born, my first daughter, she was born October 2nd of 2015. And almost 2 months later, I resigned December 11th, 2015, because at that time I had lost a little over a month of her life. Because I was traveling too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, I basically said, fuck this. I really said, fuck this. I was tired. I was traveling. I really wasn't happy. I was making all sorts of fucking money, but I wasn't happy. And so you asked me, how did it get started? When I was 27 years old, and I had a pretty nice life, and I had a driver that was taking me to EWR in Newark, the airport. And we got to talk just candidly about our lives. And I really wanted, you always search for you always search for an answer of like, what am I doing? Yeah. Purpose, and sometimes you find that through other people. Mm-hmm. And mine was a guy by the name of Mark. And he said to me, work is as much a source of dignity as it is a source of income. And that shit changed my life. I was like, I think it was like a year later, I resigned from LVMH. And I started my own company. Money wasn't for me the springboard. It was never something I chased. Even till today, I don't care for it. Yeah. Because just like you said earlier, I lost it all. I had copious amounts of money, and I had 2 houses. I had a factory in Italy.
Yeah, what everybody was success.
Yeah, it was success, and I was 30 years old. 33 years old. Shit. And then I lost it all. I lost $5 million literally overnight. And you start to analyze your life and ask yourself what type of person you were when you had money and you don't. And I was the same exact person. Yep. I was no different. I'm still ambitious. I still have grit, and I still want to achieve a certain level of purpose, right?
Yep.
And so that's exactly what I did. So funny enough, I'm going to take it back full circle. 2007, my friends and I start a club called the Bastards, and we're known as the Seven. And I love smoking cigars, and I'm a loyalist to Padron. Like, you just can't get me away from the brand, because I love the family. Right? I know them intimately. And we became super mega fans. And my life, that 2007 was a real nice life. And so on every Friday, I would invite the guys over for cigars, scotch, and sandwiches. And I would make sandwiches. Not Cuban sandwiches. I would just make open face sandwiches, croque madames, and yeah. And
but I'm not a chef. Search up how to do recipes, or you're just fucking around with them?
No, I mean, I've been around the kitchen a little bit. Yeah. I'm not a chef. I don't
cook worth a shit.
I can't cook.
He should make good sandwich.
I can't cook worth a shit. I'm not a chef, and it would be a total disrespect for those who have devoted their entire lives to cooking. Yeah. Right. But I know how to cook every once in a while, and sandwiches was a place that I felt I was pretty good at. And my friends would encourage me to open up a sandwich shop. And I remember telling these guys, they're much older than me. Guys, let's think about this for a second. It's 1:00 in the afternoon. It's Friday. We're having $20 cigars. We're having expensive whiskey. I'm serving you guys fucking sandwiches. Why would you want me to get into the restaurant business? Doctors, attorneys. I'm like, there's no sense in doing this. However, I have this fixation. I have a fixation on executing ideas. Like, don't give me a good idea, because I'm not the guy that will take.
Let it drop.
No, I implement. If it's good enough to implement, I will work on the financials. I will put. So secretly, when I was traveling, that's exactly what I did. And I had a company. I established a company called Meltwich, which most people never knew about. Meltwich was trademarked. It was designed. I had an entire business strategy. I basically trademarked it. I owned the websites, and I put it away. Never touched it. Now, fast forward many years later, when I'm kind of in the slump and I'm figuring out what I want to do next, and I pull it out. I literally dust it off, and I show it to Rosa. And Rosa's like, this is great, but it should be Cuban sandwiches. And the rest is history.
Wow, that's
literally what it was. Dude. And she was like, Meltwich, which is funny, because I sold Meltwich for $50,000 There's a company out of Canada that wanted to come into the U.S. market, and they couldn't break the U.S. market because I owned all the trademarks.
And they had.
And Rosa was like, "Why do you keep this?" Because I was paying like $8.99 a month for the GoDaddy website.
So what? Those $50,000 you use for?
I built a pool.
That's nice. Okay. You use the down payment Sanguich? No, I built the pool.
No, because I sold it. I sold it during COVID.
Okay. So when was the first Sanguich, or how did the name of Sanguich come about?
So, as a creative, I can only assume so much of the success of Sanguich. I think it really takes a village to design a company. And if you're that egotistical to think that you're capable of doing it all on your own, you're just a slime ball, right? So we had the execution, I had the strategy, but you're not going to like the name. My name was La República del Pan, which I know is fucking terrible. I know, but I never said it was perfect. It's pretty fucking bad.
No, but it takes a smart individual and an astute business person to know when you're not.
No, that was just stupid. That was more than stupid because everyone looked at me like, "What? That you can't even pronounce the República without stumbling over the name."
So Sanguich came then from who?
Okay, so
I have like one person you in credit for that.
Yes, 100%, and I'm going to get to it. So it turns out that several weeks prior to me really naming, I'm surrounded by creatives all day long. And one of them is a good friend of ours, and they run a branding agency. And he came up, he didn't want to disclose the name of a brand that he was working on, but he was working on perfumes for dogs, completely separate from what we're doing, right?
And he knows about dogs.
Okay, well, it was called Bark Republic.
Oh, wow.
And it was beautiful branding, and it was just a whole perfume line, all organic. So it doesn't cause itching on the skin, all that sorts of shit, right?
But it's perfumes for dogs.
Perfumes for dogs.
Yeah. Dolce & Gabbana just came out with one.
Yeah.
Fefe.
So he says, he's a protectionist. So he shared this with me. I thought nothing of it. Fucking Bark Republic. It's beautiful. It's a great branding. Love the product. Smells good. Fast forward now, many weeks later, I'm going through my cycle of creativity, and I find a Cuban bill, La República de Cuba. And I'm like, man, let me see if I can start to really dig into a name. And I just went, just casually de La República del Pan. And at this point, you kind of go out and you as a creative, you have to be somewhat vulnerable. So the first people that I went to, which I respect, which was Alain and Sasha. And I presented this design package, and he was like stoic. He was not happy. And I was like, you good? He's like, no, dog. He's like, listen, bro. I was like, I don't want to rain on your parade, but I feel like, I shared something with you and you kind of took with a name. I was like, bro, Bark Republic, República del Pan. I was like, I don't see the resemblance, but I know it's terrible. And if it's coming from you, I don't want to offend you, bro. We're friends. And he was like, bro, why don't you just name it Sanguich? The rest is history.
Wow, that's fucking badass.
That's it. That is fact.
And where did the container come from? Because normally you would get a storefront or try maybe like a food truck, but you had a container, a real shipping container. How did that come about? How did you pull it off?
Well, I mean, the truth is when you look about it, when you look at the investment of a brick and mortar, it's one, you have got the commitment for a very long lease. You don't really have the mobility. I thought the tents and the event circuit was really congested, and everyone's going into the food trucks and I don't know. This is 2017 when you think about it, right? It's a long time ago, and
the craziness.
Yeah, before this strong awareness of shipping containers was really about. I just felt it was the most effective tool to execute the brand, and it allowed me to, without it being in a food truck, because a food truck you have to be in the logistics business and the food business, and I wasn't in that space. I understood what it is. I've been executing business development for well over 20 years, right? Yeah. And so I understood what was right for me. And it just made sense. It made sense. It allowed us to communicate the brand effectively. It allowed us to separate ourselves from the marketplace.
Attention getter, absolutely.
Right? It was a huge attention getter, man. I mean, it beautified Calle
Ocho. My attention. That's why I went to record.
I spent $150,000 in the container, and I built it myself.
It's not cheap either for a
Is
container.
it true reused gold leaf?
Yeah.
Real gold leaf?
24 karat gold.
In a container.
20 karat gold.
That's ingenious.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. So, I engineered the systems. We understood the space, and it just allowed us to kind of grow as a company where I didn't have to worry about, outsourcing any additional real estate to hold our inventory, to prepare the food.
Correct.
I needed a place to actually prepare our food.
Well, there you would prepare and do everything.
We did everything. I mean, and it was rough. It was a rough. I mean, I guess we can get into it, but when imagine when we executed the shipping container, London and Juliet, they're 11 months apart. My kids, Rose and I were on a 22-hour shift on and off. I was taking care of the kids because they were 2 years old, right? They needed us, and we couldn't split ourselves from the business. So Rosa was working a 22-hour shift, meaning she'd open and close the restaurant and then get into the cooking cycle for the following day. And that was a 22-hour shift. And we did that for shit. I mean, up until COVID. We were doing some wild, crazy, stupid hours, right?
And making Cuban sandwiches, which is like
What everyone
the
says.
most popular food item here in Miami. They were competitive wise.
Yeah.
Because going into that is like you're going up against giants that have been doing it for years,
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, I know you have a lot of respect for the community. We were talking about it earlier. Competitors, however you want to see them. What would you say is Sanguich's biggest differentiator between any other Cuban spot?
It's really simple. We're the only Cuban sandwich in the country that makes everything from the ground up. And what I mean by that is we make our ham, I make the lechon, we make the bread, we make the pickles, we have all of our sauces are made in-house. And so the thing that differentiates us is not just that item, which I can talk endlessly about. And we're the only meat producer in the country that uses natural organic ingredients inside of the ham. That's for starters.
Yeah, nobody else is doing that.
No. There's nobody. And I know, and not only, and it's not something, I think it's a badge of honor for me because I'm working with some really big companies that produce large scale equipment. I mean, we're talking for the Tyson's, IBPs, massive companies in the world. And we had to engineer an entire skid just to produce a type of product because they don't make it, right? We have a high viscosity injector.
That's where his
It's one of
comes in from.
It's one of the few systems right here in the United States because nobody uses it. There's no purpose for it. We can get into the meat area because now I feel like we've truly mastered that entire department. Like we're having conversations with the biggest companies in the country to produce our ham at a greater rate of speed than I could because we want to grow.
So you're saying we're going to see Sanguich ham at Publix?
My goal is to take the company public.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's really impressive.
And the plancha that he designed, I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
the special cyborg plancha.
Before we get to that point, is this the reason why? Because we were talking about earlier, you're able to keep prices so low. Because I was telling you earlier, you just opened right now across the street at the plaza.
At the plaza.
That's usually like someone's staple business, that type of shopping center. Obviously, that comes with its own elevated cost and, being at another location around here. I couldn't believe it to the point, I mean, I haven't met you until today, which, I think it's very interesting hearing your background. And now everything starts to kind of piece stuff together and make sense. When I went over there and I ordered a sandwich for $13, $12, like to me, that didn't make sense that I was ordering something like that at that type of establishment when you go right next door to the juice.
It's not only the best Cuban sandwich, and I'm going to say it on camera. I don't give a shit because that's how I feel.
Thank you.
It's the cheapest.
Thank you.
So that is huge because everything's so expensive now. I get a lot of heat for agreeing with this guy. I take it every fucking time.
But you know how
But it's the truth. Yeah. And me and him have a good relationship to say that, you know what? If something's off, like, hey, what's going on with this? And sometimes I've said, hey,
you actually have.
Is something going on different with that? It's like, I'm glad you said that because we had something going on. But there's nobody that puts the love into that. Now there's the controversy with the pan con bistec, or it's a sliced ribeye.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever the hell it is, people are complaining that the quality might be too high and they want to dumb it down. But if you get a Cuban sandwich and he'll put it up against anybody, it's my favorite. It's the best that I think. And for the price, it's unheard.
And I'll say something. I'll ask something before giving you the mic. I think it's actually very filling. You're not making a rinky-dinky, cheap Cuban sandwich that you go to. You're, like I ate it the other day, last Friday with you guys, and I was full after that. And I'm somebody who, like you, we eat a lot.
No
shit.
Yeah, I took care of everybody, bro.
Take me anytime. You paid for everybody.
Like 5 of us, but I even told him, I was like, bro, I appreciate this.
No,
like,
but just elaborate a little bit. Maybe talk to some of your haters a little bit on the
no, man.
And I don't mean to dwell on that, but just on like some people, they're so used to something, and even if you show them something better, they still don't want it. And I think that happens a little bit with you.
Yeah.
Because quality-wise, there's nothing better.
Listen, as a business owner, it is a balancing act and a talent to be able to provide something of excellent quality for affordable price.
Not only that, I think you need to understand that we're very systems based. I engineered the entire company, the front of house and back of house. And when you really see, we have a Willy Wonka of a factory.
You do.
Yeah, but when you say system-based, that might turn people off. But you have to think.
No. We have to
have a
understand.
system-based after so many trial and errors.
No, listen. Wait, and I'm not going to mention any names, bro. But when COVID hit around, everyone's like, "Oh, we just sold out of Cuban sandwiches," and everyone's saying, "Yeah, but how many did you make? 50? I made 600. I make 600 a day."
See what I'm saying? Like,
okay, I'm talking about you can talk. Yeah, you can talk a lot of shit, but we're the best in what we do, and I think pound for pound, I'm willing to get in the ring with anybody.
It's all right. So now that you're here, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
isn't that your job, Ed?
No, but like, I hear a lot about Sanguich and how they're the best.
You always say, I don't mean to light shit up right now, but I'm going to ask you the crazy
But I'm going to light shit up.
I'm going to ask you something that's going to piss you the fuck off.
No. But apart from Sanguich, who else would you say that can get in the ring with him?
Paco Vite-wise, that can maybe have 9 or 10 rounds with you. What do you mean? Don't get offended. Mary's Coin Laundry.
Mary's
Really?
Coin Laundry?
That
Okay.
Paco Vite.
Okay.
Who else? Who else is like in that level that's like,
Cuban sandwich.
But level of what? Like we're not talking quality because you can't compare the quality.
No.
Right, but I will say,
but you see what I'm
but
saying?
I will say,
sandwich-wise.
but I will say it's a good sandwich. I eat at Marty's. I live in Silver Bluff. Yeah,
you've been there.
Yeah, of course I've been there.
Who else? Because I feel like, I don't want to, you can't get places like, I don't know, Palacio de los Jugos, stuff like that, but that's not like that type of level. What else? Who else has a good Cuban sandwich?
Shit.
I don't really see it.
No, Enriqueta's, bro.
Enriqueta's?
Anybody, you're gonna swing at
no,
everything I say.
no, because when the old man was alive, I'd say yeah, bro.
I know.
I say yeah, okay, yeah.
Damn, he
I
got
say
you.
you're right.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but now it's kind of like people don't give a shit. Like
you're right. I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah,
and another
and it's like a bunch of ham and like this cheese that's just like this.
There is another guy that does a Cuban sandwich and he uses that bread they crystal bread.
Oh yeah,
crystal bread. Jordi Ramos.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Him and Danny. They.
But I'll tell you this. I was like, I think everyone should know this because this hasn't been pushed, and I need to do a better job of pushing this narrative. We're the only clean Cuban bread in the country right now. Meaning, I don't have any mold modifiers. I don't have any bromate in it. I don't have any calcium.
Made for you, though, right?
It's specifically made for me, and it's clean bread.
And you're the only one that uses lard, correct? Instead of butter.
So we use lard, and the reason why we use lard, it's only in Cayocho. I don't really use it that much anymore because of the press we designed. Because I don't need it. Because I've
noticed it here.
Yeah, I don't need. I only use it once the sandwich comes out. We glaze it because it adds a nice sheen to it.
It does, and it gets it a nice little crispy.
No, I don't have to, brother. Have you noticed? You noticed that I put it on, but you don't notice that I don't use it. But has it changed the flavor of the sandwich?
No, but I did notice it over here at the plaza.
Yeah, but you notice it because visual. But if I put a sandwich, I put the sandwiches next to you, you can't tell. And if you can't, your palate is so sophisticated.
No, it's not.
You can't pick it up.
I was just so turned on when you first told me and showed me.
Of course, yeah. But
that it was lard, and the butter burns and the lard doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it was glass.
But you have to understand.
We're using the medianoche that I ate was felt like glass. Like it felt
nice. I think he didn't chew. I didn't think he chewed that day because
I was starving, bro. We were here.
My medianoche.
I love the medianoche.
And he finished first.
And by the way, my medianoche is yellow. All the other mentioned medianoche in the market, they use that yellow 30 to give it that yellow color. Mine's turmeric. I got to put
Danny, the quality won't fall off because I know you're blowing up.
No, the quality won't.
I know you just opened up here at the plaza.
Yep.
I know you got Bayside coming.
Yep, 24 August.
That's amazing.
24th.
I know you got other projects that I don't know if you want to mention or not, but you're going to stick to it, right? Primo, because what happens with big guys like you is after a while,
the franchise out.
I will say it. I will say it here.
I
will say it here on this podcast, right? Is that I'm totally committed to maintaining the integrity of the company. I don't give a shit how big it gets. And at any point, if I feel there's any compromises, when I stop. I'm not gonna let that happen. I think there's just too much on the line, right? There's culture on the line. There's reputation, and I think that we don't have any adjacency, so there's almost no reason to be able to change it. It's not like I'm competing with anybody.
Yeah.
I don't have any competition.
No, you don't.
You can't. You can't.
Talking about competition and stuff, what other Cuban sandwich do you like?
Yeah, like honorable mentions.
That's not
like
yours.
honorable
Get ready,
mentions.
Ben.
Give us your top 3 honorable mentions.
Give us your top 3 Cuban sandwiches that aren't yours. You wanted the smoke. Here it is.
Guys, you're really putting me on the spot.
Come on, bro.
The truth is, I don't eat another Cuban sandwich as a minded.
Okay.
I don't.
Before you opened up your Cuban sandwich shop, where did you eat a Cuban sandwich?
Okay, I would get one. I would get my medianoche at Mary's Coin Laundry.
Okay.
Right? I would do that. Rose and I would have like, these drunken binges and we would go there.
Those are the best. Bro.
At 2
Those are
o'clock,
the best.
Making babies
Talking
within a
shit,
year from
2
each other.
o'clock.
2 o'clock in the morning having your cafecito con
that's
leche
the best,
and
yeah.
medianoche, right? And Rosa is asking for it like extra pressed because they weren't pressing it too much.
What about Rosie? Does she have any spots that maybe you guys...
But let me finish this.
No, there was
Mary's is one.
there was on one on St. Andrews in Fort Lauderdale. Is it 1925? In Fort Lauderdale, off of St. Andrews.
Nobody goes to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, but it was good. But it was good. I don't know if they're there anymore. But we're talking now since I've been with on this sandwich kick.
Give me one more. Give me one more in Miami. The podcast is a day, man.
I would. Can I be honest? They're no longer around, but it was Badillas. I thought they were the best.
Oh, wow.
I thought Badillas was hands down the best sandwich in Miami at the time.
And for people that don't know where Buddy is, where was it located?
Badillas was on 17th and 4th Avenue, Hialeah.
I'm curious to know, have you gotten like hate from the Cuban community or like the Hispanic community for turning something into like a brand, like making it super fancy and sophisticated?
No, I think more so is that people felt that I was too expensive. So it contradicts what you're saying, right? It's a different demographic that's used to buying a Cuban sandwich for $5.99. Right, and there are a few of these complainers. Oh, it's too much, or people say you should do better. It's like fuck off.
I think one of the things
you guys don't know what we're doing to say something like that.
One of the things that I was most amazed about, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I ever went to a Sanguich, and the design that you have, the level of detail, the cleanliness, the staff, the simplicity in the menu, to me was amazing. I hadn't seen anything like that, and I'm still right now surprised. I was telling you earlier. And that has been something that really took me aback, how someone was able to like create something like that. And now that I know your design background and engineering,
you could see it. You
can see the detail, and you can see where it comes from.
Man, I just got I've always felt that when I traveled a lot, and for me, authenticity is number one. So I want to walk into a space feeling like I'm there, whether I'm having Japanese or I'm having Italian. I want to feel like I'm part of the culture somehow, not just in the food that they're serving, but the ambience has to kind of emulate something.
Totally. I think you've tied in your...
I didn't want to do the polished concrete floors and reclaimed walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and honestly, your staff was... I felt like I was at home. Your staff was coming up to us, getting algo de tomar. You want any more sauce? It was actually very impressive. I don't know if that was because... I don't know if that was with him or not.
No. And
I thought before it was still like that.
I report directly to Danny. The cops are here.
No, but I just, when I think we have an excellent corporate culture.
Yeah.
And it all stems... I tell people that when you go to an establishment to eat, I want you to treat each of our customers the way you want to be treated. It's really simple as that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an elaborate training program. There's a difference between service and hospitality. Service is very transactional. Hospitality is like getting to know you and your kids.
That's a good point.
Right? And understanding your likes and dislikes. So when you walk into a door, okay, you're the guy that doesn't like the pickles and the croqueta parada, and it's already on the press for you. And I wave and I say hello and I give you a cafecito. And sometimes I walk up to people and I talk to them and I ask them how they're doing, and it just happens naturally. Get un cafecito.
Yep.
They're like, no, sure. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no, it's on the house. I offered you un cafecito. They're like, oh shit, that doesn't really happen often.
Yeah, I'm not going to charge you for it. Don't worry.
I'm not going to charge you for it because that's the difference between the service and the hospital.
I do want to ask you a question on when it comes to employment and having, building a team.
Yeah.
Miami is getting really expensive.
It is.
And I see it a lot. I see it with our people and everything across, everybody we work with. How do you manage like the hiring of employees? Do you find any difficulties with that? Is it hard to bring people on board, or like how do you kind of like pick and choose who you want to be a part of your team?
Man, I'll be honest. Rosa's really part of that operation, right? But we have hundreds of applicants now that we're scaling. Employees that have been with us in Cayocho have been with us for 6 years, and word of mouth kind of spreads. So when we start to expand, when we expanded to Coral Gables, it was very easy to kind of capture employment. We pride ourselves in a few things. First and foremost is like, for me, money is not the driver. I think purpose is. And we all need money to live. I get it.
I agree.
And there needs to be a standard of living. We do the best we can to protect it.
Correct.
It's always a delicate balance. But my employees here start at $15 an hour plus tip. And so they're all making almost 40 grand a year. Right off the jump, right? And now as I start to scale, my job is to build an economy of scale that I could provide everyone with a good welfare.
Correct.
Of a standard of living. And that's my responsibility. So, I have to protect so many aspects of the company. I have to protect the balance sheet. I have to protect the P&L, but I also have to protect the company culture. So for us,
How many employees you got right now?
Nacho, right now we've got 25 here, 15 in Cayocho. I'm doing 25. Yeah, our payroll is 100,000. Our payroll right now is $100,000.
You got about
53.
We employ my payroll is $100,000 per month right now for the size of our company. It's big.
Yeah.
When I retired from TV, I wanted to be manager of one of his sponsors.
Imagínate.
Still
own a franchise.
Still.
Yeah, a franchise. But you have franchise owners right now?
We're working on the franchise agreements. Yeah, but there's so much because you have to work on distribution, manufacturing. It's not just like, let's pop up some stores.
Yeah.
When you understand the amount of money that I invested in our factory and the amount of money and time that I invested in just developing the systems, meaning the press, all of the refrigeration's proprietary.
The commissary, you haven't seen it, bro.
It's a Willy Wonka.
Size of this building.
I could have opened 10 restaurants.
Wow.
But I understood what it was going to take to open up a Coral Gables. I don't work Coral Gables because I've been working on the Coral Gables platform for 3 years.
Gotcha.
I don't have to go there. I haven't trained anybody to do anything. I was just like, build the sandwiches, put on the press, let the press do its thing, cut it, slice it, and serve it.
Were you nervous going into such a big building and such an?
I still am. I always am.
So I want to ask you a question.
And anyone who say they're not is full of shit.
Yeah,
I'm scared. I'm scared every single day because it's part of the reason why I'm constantly chasing improvements in the business and making sure that we protect the integrity of what it is that we're doing, because at any point, things can get compromised.
So I want to ask you a question, and there was some controversy coming into the Coral Gables one that I heard of. I was unfortunately not able to be there.
Okay.
Because I was traveling with my family. My daughter was graduating from school. She's on vacation. But through the grapevine, I had heard that there was some type of situation, which I'm still not clear on, with La Ventanita. What the fuck happened with La Ventanita?
Listen,
or what was the problem of having a Ventanita?
I laughed.
With the Coral Gables situation?
Now it's going to go.
So because they told me that Ventanitas are allowed, but then I heard that they didn't want to allow it. I don't know.
Let's get right into it.
So clear it up for everyone.
I think it's a bunch of shit, right?
Before the beginning, Mr. Perfect fucked up the spelling at the commissary and missed what letter in Ventanita?
No way.
I laughed for a month.
I
because
missed an
He's
A,
the most
bro.
detailed, perfectionist person I know. And bro,
But can I go?
Oh, no, you go.
Go, bro. Listen.
Because
Listen.
I'm still
embarrassed by it.
But now it's funny.
Tell
what happened. Tell me what happened.
All right, so
Listen to this.
So I do all of the gold leaf for the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I hand paint everything, and every now and then I have to paint it on the reverse. It's backwards, right? But that specific night, I had
just gold leaf.
I had one of my best friends just literally just show up from Brazil, and it was like 11 o'clock, and I'm in the process of painting. And when Joey and I are together, it's a drunken stupor, right? We're 25 years. I'm the godfather of his kids. He's my best friend. And he came as a surprise, and I had a bottle of whiskey, and we were just pounding it. And we're pounding, telling jokes as I'm painting, right? And so it becomes a fog after like 2 o'clock in the morning. Then everything is dry, and I come and I install it. And the thing is, you install it, it's still hazy. I'm preparing for the opening. But the thing is, no one caught it.
You missed a letter, bro.
I missed a letter. No one caught it. And then all of a sudden, it goes on socials.
He put it up.
Oh my God, he lost an A. He lost an A, and everyone's like, he lost the A. He forgot the A. He doesn't know how to spell. And I'm having our lunch at the Fiorito.
At what point did it become funny?
It was like,
Because I know you.
no, I was when Rosa posted, it was funny for her. For me, I was devastated. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, your
believe.
reputation, everything, Like,
I can
even
hide-
like a small slip up,
I was
still,
like, I was like, how can this happen?
somebody
to me
who
that
wants
I
everything
lost an A.
for a grand opening.
So
Go leave
Yeah.
that shit.
yeah,
Can't hold that.
so but
And now you left it.
I did. I left it because
And how does it say?
why Ventanita?
Ventanita?
Ventanita.
Ventanita.
Funny or what?
We got to put some pictures of that.
So
one.
what
We
happened?
get it.
Truth, bro. What happened with the Gables?
All right, so then go back to so the controversy with the Gables
so-
and La Ventanita.
Yeah. So the issue is that Coral Gables doesn't allow those types of windows because they're gathering spaces, and those gathering spaces apparently they can become illicit. They cause loitering. They cause a disruption for the community, and that's just the truth. It took me a year and a half to get that Ventanita approved. And you know what? As a result of what I did there, finally, the commissioners stepped up and they sponsored a program that will no longer impede anybody to do that. As a result of what I've done.
Good stuff.
Good job.
I tried. Yeah, good stuff. My hat's off to them. But we tried to get it sponsored at the beginning, and unfortunately, it didn't pass, and it cost me an arm and a leg.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it cost me $20,000.
Wow.
Just to get it approved. One meeting alone was $12,125.
Dang it, bro. So, but you got the Ventanita.
But we
done,
got it done, man. It's
you
water
figured
to
it
the
out.
bridge, and
Yeah.
we're there. And it's not even a ventanita, bro. It's a ventanota.
It is a Ventanota.
It's 13 feet
Yeah,
wide.
it's big.
And when it's hot as balls, the AC blows beautifully.
Wait until we have the outdoor seating. It's gonna be
Remember how we were sweating in that opening, bro?
Must.
Like we jumped in a pool.
bro. I saw pictures and I was so embarrassed.
I know.
My ass was
I don't
wet,
understand.
bro. Estaba
You gotta wear a
mojado.
wife beater under, bro.
I was like, fuck it, bro. It was a celebration for the community.
no, it was an amazing event.
But that place has been doing well.
We're doing well, man.
doing well.
We're doing well.
Did
Tonight.
Apple
I
move
see
in
people
already?
there all the time.
Did Apple move
No,
in
they're
already?
gonna
I know that was
no, Word on the Street is they're going to be there next year. Bacardi's doing their first phase this year. So they got 5 floors. I think 2 floors are coming in this year.
Coming in the masses.
Yeah, it's going to be
gonna blow up.
It's going to.
blow
I
up.
think
And we have
Plaza
pinstripes coming in
Plaza really right now is at the precipice of just like lighting up.
It is.
Good.
It really is.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
pretty
I
good
want to
things
talk about probably the most controversial sandwich on his menu.
Oh shit.
The most sold is the Cuban, right? My favorite, by the way, is la croqueta preparada on the menu.
wait.
What's the
Hands-
number one
hands
selling?
down.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, for Gallo Ocho, it's
Overall.
my overall it's the Cubano. I think pound for pound because so much of that is taken at the expense of Gallo Ocho. But here it's a mixed bag, man. But here now, my pan con lechon, I don't know what the hell's happening, bro. I can't keep it in stock. It's just like
It is fire.
it is, and I feel my pan con lechon also is one of those that it's
perfect.
deep.
It's perfect.
One, I pride myself on.
It's
this.
perfect.
I pride myself
the
as, and
pickles
we
and
can
onions.
discuss whether you want, the chicharrones in it, and we can discuss how it's built. I get it. I like it, bro.
Juicy and soft,
I can, but it's just not part of my systems.
I
Like, if
think
could
his
do
pan
it-
con lechon.
Wait, I haven't tried your pan con lechon yet. Though.
My pan con lechon is-
I've
my
only
pan
eaten
con
the
lechon is
medianoche.
very
I
good,
go
man.
medianoche every time.
my
The pan con lechon
is good.
and the one from the Butcher Deli shop in Palmetto Bay
Yes, it's very good.
that I get pan con lechon with the little onions, and then I get the chicharrones crushed in there. I would have to say those are like toe-to-toe. But what I want to talk about is the most controversial sandwich, which is your pan con vite.
Let's do it.
I get a lot of heat for the last 5 years. It's not a real pan con vite. It's a ribeye sandwich because people are used to the and these. I'm gonna call out my chef friend Ramos, Alberto Cabrera, maybe Justin at Social
I
27.
have a bone to pick with both of them.
Well, yeah.
I'll say it right on
Tell
camera.
them now.
I'll say it right on camera.
This guy has a hit list, bro.
No, because they're all my boys. I don't care.
Because they all
Hey,
try to pick on me, bro.
Yeah, listen, I'll fuck off all of them. I don't care.
But I'll
I'm just
fuck
saying, they're
them
my
all up.
brothers. But yeah, it's not even an issue. There's no argument here. But he gets a little heat because the quality of his pan con vite is not, it's better, right? It's better than the regular palomilla with the onions. And it's sliced. Elaborate a little bit on why yours is different and why do we get heat.
I will say it's different. So it's really difficult to compare the two, right? True. I enjoy a typical pan con vite. La cebollita, la papita on Cuban bread with
The
the
tough
I enjoy it.
palomilla.
I enjoy. Listen, I
The one
enjoy
that you
it.
pull and it comes
I
out.
enjoy it because so much.
That's how we grew up.
Our memory is built on
Correct.
those experiences.
Nostalgic.
I can't pull that away from you. However, if you want to debate quality, pound for pound, I'm the best.
Yeah.
We have, and most people will argue on the type of meat that we use and the quality of the meat. And let me say this on camera.
Let me be clear.
To be clear, it is the same exact cut of meat. Period.
It's just differently prepared.
It's just instead of because we receive the entire round, right? And it comes in about 12 pounds. What we do is we slice it in half. We roll it in our spices. and we roasted. And I roasted for 7 hours.
You give me the secret away right now.
No, you can't. You
Try to duplicate it, Papito.
You can't. Bro, I can tell you how to do
his pickles at home, ¿te acuerdas?
I can literally, I could give you my system, and you won't be able to replicate it.
I like it. I like it.
I've
They
tried to
can't.
do his pickles. Wait, just do this, do this. You know,
You can't.
Go ahead.
You can't. But the point is that, we go through a process of cooking. It's tender. It's slow and low, right? When it's out, we cool it, and then we slice it. We don't slice it like a steak. It's the only difference.
Why go through all that shit, bro?
Because it represents because there's something artisanal and something beauty about putting out really good food. And I'm gonna share this story with you
because
guys.
it could be so much easier for you.
No, I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share. Listen, I can tell you something right now. I could still be very good. I
know the steps.
I can buy the bolo ham, and I can go buy lechon, and I can build my own Cuban. And honestly, it'll be a decent Cuban. Mm-hmm. I can use my systems. I can slash my costs by $70,000 a month.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's substantial.
It's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort. But again, I always circle back to money is not my key driver. It's important that we're fiscally responsible. It's important that we operate the business healthy. It's important that we turn a profit. All of those things. Yeah. Okay. Let's put that aside. But first and foremost, that is secondary to our purpose. Our purpose is to maintain the artisanal quality of the company, and ensure that I feed my kids my sandwich, man.
Sure.
I don't go and buy ham at Publix. I feed them my ham.
Wow.
Right? Because I know what goes into making my product versus the competition.
Somebody else's. Yeah.
Trust me, I know. You don't want to know. You don't want to know how people season meat. You don't want to know how ham is made. Because when you do, at that scale, you'll be like, are we really eating that? I'm like, yeah, you really are. Right?
I kind of want to ask you right now, how is ham made?
I'll tell you this. There's a company I'm working with that produces all of our casings.
Okay. And
at one point when they came, now I'm working with large companies. I'm working JBTs, Avisco fans, people that produce for, Chick-fil-A's of the world.
Got you.
And one of them is the casing. It's how we make our ham. We make our ham like a log mesh. We don't do the mesh anymore. We use a collagen. We use a fibrous casing.
Gotcha.
Right? And because it maintains the juiciness of the product.
Because it used to be the mesh.
It did, but for better. It was actually for the better.
Right? It was 3-prong with the holes. You still
Macho. We have 15 needles now. We're doing 1,500 pounds every 15 minutes. You can't compete, bro. Now, I produce 1,500 pounds of ham every 15 minutes.
The numbers, primo. That's a lot of fucking.
Yeah,
ham.
there's nobody that can do that. Let me reiterate this. At our scale, for our purpose, right? There isn't anybody doing what we're doing. There are people that produce meat, right? But mine is very specific to my company. Yeah. I'm producing for my consumption.
But nobody has alone. Look, if you give me that steak round, I'm taking that home and I'm eating it. So I could.
That's what happened.
But that's the future that he was talking about earlier.
Yeah. So for me, it's really important to maintain that quality. So I'll go back to our pan con vite in terms of quality is unbeatable. It's unmatched, right? The quality of our bread is superior. We produce all of our frites. We do el mojo rojo.
Still doing the mustard?
We're doing the mustard. And I didn't want to do the mustard, but Rosa's challenging me on shoes. You're not taking my mustard away. Because the moment you start, and then it becomes a slippery slope. At what point do you say, I need to stop inheriting other products? Because then you start changing. And it goes back to what you were talking about, like, are you going to maintain?
Yep.
What are you going to do to maintain it as you start to scale? I was like, my job is to make sure that we keep this on par, man. It represents my culture. But I'm going to tell you this because I wanted to get to this point. It was 2000, I think it was 2006. I was in Nordstrom. I was in Tyson's Corner. And I had this beautiful assortment of ties, and I have all these salespeople rallying behind the collection. And there's a guy by the name of Hisham, and he was Muslim. And he excellent salesperson and dynamic, right? Just super energetic. And he was a big proponent of my brand. I mean, he was selling it to the Prince of Jordan. This guy was like one of the top sellers of Nordstrom. Huge, big, like in terms of sales, he was like one of the top performers in the country. So we established a kinship. And I said, Hisham, let's go to have some lunch. And he said, no, lunch is on me. I was like, no, bro.
In Miami?
No, in Tyson's Corner in DC.
Oh, okay.
And so we go to lunch, and I finally accept, that he's gonna treat me to lunch. And he takes me to this Mediterranean place. And when I walk into this Mediterranean restaurant, it's one of those typical Mediterranean restaurants. You kind of take off your shoes and sit on the floor, and they bring this impressive plate of calamari olives and hummus, and And I just casually start to dig in. And this guy, out of fucking nowhere, I wasn't prepared for it. He's like, no. It's not what we do here. He's like, you have to understand that now I've invited you to have lunch with me. It's no longer, now we're family. So this is not about just nourishing the body. It's about nourishing our friendship. And food is the bridge to that. And I was taken aback. Because it really was the first time I had that connection to food. You always know it. Food breaks barriers, and you sit down and you have
break bread.
It breaks, and you can have one person, that's a billionaire sitting next to someone that isn't, right? And they all have a common ground.
Correct.
Common ground is that nourishing their bodies, but there's also that human connection that we miss. That's what I really love about Sandwich. So for me, as I'm building the company, I always encourage people not to take pictures of the sandwich. I encourage people to engage and to connect, because we're losing so much of that. And so it goes back. I know, I get it. And it's part of it, and I accept it.
No, but you know what?
I expect it.
I have the ultimate respect for you for that now, because that is amazing, and nobody's doing that, man.
No, and that's why when you walk into Sandwich, that's why it's beautiful. That's why I give a shit. Man, I spent a lot of money in that location.
You could tell.
It's more money than most people. I'm constantly challenged. Why so much per square foot? Why this? I was like, because when you walk into my restaurant, you are consumed by its culture. You're consumed by you're consumed by everything. There isn't anything you can complain about. You're transported somewhere. 100%. And that's exactly what I want. That's what I want to protect. So I don't give a shit what it costs. It's important that we do that. We want to hold a candle to the people. My grandfather. So, we can all get teary-eyed, right, about all the sacrifices. And we all have a story to tell about, that generation that came behind us that really sacrificed and left everything for the betterment of us, right? And I could say that about my grandfather, right? My grandfather was a simple man. He sold shoes, right? But when he made the decision to come here, he was put in agricultura. And agricultura was almost a punishment of the person who wanted to flee, and they were held as a slave for essentially 12 months before you were given your visa to leave the country. Well, my grandfather, at the 12-month mark, they lost all his paperwork, and he had to do another 12 months. So he came to this country a very different man. Sorry, Bobby. And he was cleaning hospitals, and back in the days when you used to travel on United Airlines, they used to give that nice cold, hot plate of food with aluminum foil. Yeah. Well, my grandfather was the one that was portioning out, right? And he did it for 20 years. And he died of a heart attack at 61.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah, it was that's why he died March 17th, 1991. It was such a vivid moment in my life, because I lost an important figure in my life. And so I live my life at the expense of the person who gave me this opportunity to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so I have to respect it, and I have to do everything I can to pay tribute to that, not just the impact that he made on me, but the impact that each one of our family members has done to our lives, right?
Your family name.
And so it's really important for me that we represent the brand to the best of my ability. Could we do better? Yeah, we can always do better. I'm looking for ways to always improve. And we can have that open discussion on what's necessary.
To that point,
I think you're doing the best.
And I struggle.
Thank you, Bobby.
I struggle with that a lot with people who I talk to, and I always, even with myself, I always say, when is it enough? Like, when is it that you say, okay, I'm here, I got it, I'm done? Does that time ever come, or is it just? And the answer that I've had for myself is that I enjoy the journey, the challenges, the suffering.
You guys are very similar.
Like, I enjoy just like give me more, because I want to see how far I can go.
Rosa challenges this idea of taking this company public, right? And by the way, this is the first time I've said it publicly. I've never really said that publicly.
Don't worry, nobody's watching.
I want to do that, and I want to do that not for the sake of trying to prove anything to anybody. I just
do you want to include that, or you want me to clip that out?
No. I want.
Crazy.
No. Let's.
Okay.
I want to be honest in how I feel about what we're doing. I've spent 3 years engineering the business. The press is a component of making sure that I could feed just as many people more efficiently, quickly than I can in Cayocho. Oh, you don't know about the press? Okay, so the press it took me 3 years to design. So I have a very good friend of mine, Christian Traverson.
Before he goes into this, being a sandwich follower forever, the problem has always been, it's amazing, but it takes
long. Yeah,
it takes so long.
So that
and
he
it
had
doesn't
planchas, individual planchas, and I'm just talking,
Go.
I'm a little bit of an expert as well.
Yeah.
On like 13 minutes and then shaving it down to like 5 minutes.
To do
like
that,
7 minutes. And keep the same quality with having an individual work it.
Yeah.
And him not being there, and then I would be sent out to like make sure it's still the same quality, so that he'd created this system. Go ahead.
Yeah. So to add to that,
Because I remember
is
those
that
time trials.
you know it still is. It's always about the time and quality, and at some point you sacrifice one or the other.
Right.
Are you compromising on the time, or are you compromising quality? And I want to get as close to a time and quality that I possibly can. And the moment that I feel that's as far as you can take it, as far as you can take it, unless I develop another system. But we're down to 7 minutes. I can give you an order in 7, 8 minutes. Whereas before in Cayocho, it's 25, 30. And that's really simple, right? The reason why there hasn't been a quick service restaurant of our kind ever in the United States, in the history of food,
It takes time.
is because it's pressed. Quiznos is the closest to a hot sandwich or a potbelly.
Yep.
Because they run it through a pizza conveyor oven, open face, and they close it. Macho, that's not a press sandwich. Pressing a sandwich, the dynamic of it, the system behind it is so labor intensive, and it takes away the time, because I'm not the one that's just going to press a sandwich for the sake of pressing a sandwich and giving it to you where the cheese is cold.
Yeah.
I press a sandwich where it's hot and the cheese is melted, period. And if that means 13 minutes, it's 13 minutes. Complain all day you want. If you want a cold sandwich, press cold sandwich, go somewhere else.
Well, the problem is that sometimes when you, in other cases, when you press it, the ham stays cold, or other portions
We
of it
are-
stay cold.
we are-
you know?
It's
We are-
uneven.
Yeah,
This one is
exactly.
flat, this one's big.
Exactly.
Here with this crazy logo, he made a machine
see
that
that.
cuts, that makes it perfect, and it's like a conveyor belt that takes 6-7 minutes.
And we own it. We own the
he owns the
we own the
pan.
patent.
You made a press
Yeah,
conveyor belt.
But the press cleans. It's enterprise level, which means I can get on my phone and see the performance of that machine. Wow. It has.
It doesn't get hot to the touch.
We have. Yeah, it doesn't get hot.
doesn't
to the
get hot
touch
to the
because we
touch.
use the insulation that we're using is just the quality of the system is ridiculous.
That's incredible.
And but we again, man, it's always going back to the beginning, right? It's about quality, and it's about the process, and it's about consistency.
But how do you keep the?
We
costs
are
one of
the
lowest ones.
We are the. By the way, I mean, if you look at our balance sheet and you look at our profit and loss, you just separate the two, right? What you'll find is that we've invested an incredible amount of these assets, but these assets I have to amortize those expenses. We spent a lot of money to get there, right? No one in their right mind would do that. I spent $500,000 on engineering a press, bro.
Yep. Nobody's doing that. Nobody will do that.
Nobody will do
You
that.
have to
And
be
this is-
crazy. You have to do that.
and
you have to have a vision.
And
You have to
for,
know
and
that
for
this is gonna
me,
work.
for me, it's important. So when you when you went to Coral Gables, you experienced the very best
Yep.
of those 3 years.
Yep.
I was able to serve you and everybody very quickly. Where now it didn't feel like a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like it's a sandwich shop. Let's at the end of the day, let's break it down.
That's what me and Billy were talking
yeah.
about.
We're a
last
sandwich
time.
shop, bro. We're
Is it a
not.
sandwich shop, Kiko, or a
Don't take
restaurant?
don't take me too fucking seriously. It's a sandwich shop.
yeah.
We sell sandwiches and batidos.
Yeah.
Listen, one of the
Wait.
things-
I was gonna ask him something.
Go ahead.
I know we're
Before
kind
you
of
do that,
we're
talking
kind of
about cost.
go.
we're kind of all over the
We
place.
were talking about cost
No,
and
but-
waste. You were one of the first ones to do the gold belly stuff,
Yeah.
and I know you're big on Uber Eats and stuff like that.
No, actually, the contrary. We're not. No, well, not the Uber Eats. And I'll tell you. I'll tell you
were one
that.
of the first ones because H2 was so packed.
Yeah, but I killed within 2 weeks.
Can you elaborate on that? Because we did have a whole pod on Uber Eats and what they charge. And I know you do Gold Belly. I've seen your shit across the country.
I haven't heard Go Belly. Though.
So Gold Belly at the time, you know, it started during COVID, and it was really a platform where you were able to sell beyond your little bubble, your community, right?
course,
You had an impact.
stuff.
No, but anybody
Like
can
a
go on.
Giardino's Pizza.
At the beginning, at the beginning, you needed
that
heavy
was
hitters.
unheard of.
Well, at the beginning, you needed heavy hitters to really push the platform forward.
And
That
your
was it.
sandwiches are broken down. You have to build them correctly.
I built everything. Yeah. So
See, so it's not just get it and eat. You got to put the work. Go ahead and allow it.
We portion control absolutely everything. So we had portion control everything. Everything. The reason, when you talk about everything's perfect, it's perfect for a reason. We put a lot of energy in making sure that experience is never broken.
Everything.
Well, it creates consistency.
Individually wrapped in the box, and you make
everything.
It
everything is everything was
inner.
It was a springboard. It was a springboard to what I designed, and it was. I think it happened a little sooner than I had designed the company to be. So it really, it's that I always say there's always that 1% luck and 99% grit. This is that 1%.
Was it successful for you?
I didn't put enough energy in it, and I'll tell you why. Because I only use the platform to exercise my theory. Can I do this? And if I can do this, I could make that work. And so I did it at the basis of trying to design my factory, and I did it to help further protect all of our trademarks and patents. Because the moment that I sell to someone in California,
people were copying.
Everyone was copying. Everyone's trying.
There was
everyone
some straight copies,
straight motherfucking copy,
like blatant,
just straight up. I'm trying to copy.
Yeah,
I'm like
logos and I didn't want to talk about it, but like logos, everything.
Yeah, they know who they are.
Local people?
Yeah.
I would get shit and I'd be like, bro, look, but anyone, look at this shit. He goes, I already know what that is. Like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but the thing is that listen, I would encourage anybody to open up. Tell you what, I'll give you my recipe. Open it. Try to do what we're going to do. You can't.
It will barely work, though, because if people have to make it at home.
It did. No.
It was a little intimidating, that box. I'm not going to lie.
I will tell you this. It was because you're looking at this demographic, because you have a reach to that product. So for you, it's like, what the fuck am I going to build my Cuban sandwich, right? But when you're talking about someone like in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or you're talking about someone in Janesville, Michigan, who doesn't have any of that food, it's attractive. Details, right? It was my cards were beautiful, man. It was it became it was beautiful. It was a beautiful card stock. It had all these impressions.
Are you still working with them?
No, I killed it. I killed it.
Yeah.
I killed it because it was disruptive. It didn't allow me to focus on what we're doing.
Yeah,
so I dropped it, and it
helped out a little, right?
It did. No. It served its purpose.
Mancho,
it served its purpose. I'm not gonna knock it.
All right, go ahead. I needed to know about it.
I've never heard of that, so I'm gonna look into that stuff.
And
that's
then Uber Eats, and I guess I'll say it now. We just signed an exclusive contract with Uber Eats.
And I heard that they didn't do that. That only DoorDash did those type of contracts.
I'm very opinionated on those platforms. I don't use the platforms. I'm very much about I would rather drive 15, 20 minutes because Me
too, but that's because we're older. Don't agree because
Yeah, of course.
I don't.
No, bro, of course. No, but of course it is because we're older, because we're hardwired to go to a place and enjoy our food at the location. I don't want to have, a fucking prime rib steak at my house. I want to enjoy it at the location.
Yeah.
But there's a new
But you have a different opinion of both as a user and on the other side as a business owner.
As a business owner, I refuse to give anybody 30% of my profits, because 30% of that specific food group, and it was just way too much.
Your deal's not that, right?
It's very black and white. No, it's not that. It's very black, and I can't discuss the deal for a lot of reasons. But it's very black and white. I was taught that I don't purchase anything if I don't have the ability to buy it twice. So I'm very frugal. I spend when I have to spend, and I know why I'm spending it. Right? In this case,
see your wardrobe. We know.
In this case, it was just it didn't sit right with me, and we didn't have the throughput to meet the demand. So the moment I turned on Uber Eats, it was like ding, 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 ding. I shut off.
Yeah.
I shut off, called him, was like, cancel this. So like, what are you talking about? I was like, cancel it. Get rid of it. I don't want it. It's disruptive to my business. It affects you going to the shop. Already you're waiting 20 minutes for a sandwich, man. I'm not going to add another 10 minutes on it because I want to worry about some person that's sitting on his couch who wants a Cuban sandwich. And I'm from the mentality, I was like, no, do me a favor. Come here and enjoy it here. Yeah. I promise I'm going to give you a good experience.
That's a refreshing thought process, though. Most people do not think like that. They're thinking profit-wise.
But he's got a deal, though.
But I got a really good deal. We are the number one searched sandwich shop on the Uber Eats platform, and we weren't represented by the company.
However, that deal happened because of how you stuck to your guns and said, "I'm not doing it."
So you don't need PRs. Is that what you're saying?
It was able.
I was going to ask about that.
Can we be your PR?
I was going to ask about that.
It was able to shape our financial future by making those decisions.
Yeah. I was going to ask, you have a great product and it markets itself. like, how do you see marketing, or how do you see the landscape with influencers and things along those lines? Like, do you ever try to leverage it, or you're kind of like,
No,
a
I've
different
never.
approach to-
I think we've always managed our business. It's an equitable relationship, right? I've never paid an influencer for a post. We don't
say it again.
I have never paid an influencer to post on our website or post about us.
That is the only second person that
Never
ever has said that.
I have never paid an influencer to post, and I feel it's equitable, and I'll tell you why. It's because influencers need to build content, and they need to build content at the expense of operators like me.
Yep.
Right. And I
think they work. I'm not knocking any.
No.
influencer.
And let me tell you, and
I think it works.
it does work, and there's going to come a point in time where I might have to hire an influencer to help us boost. You know,
I mean, I don't pay them anyway.
but at that time, I was so focused on building the business and ensuring that I could give you the content to post on your platforms, to give you also the
swag, bro. You can say it.
bro, to
can say it.
push
You collaborated
content
with
out.
us,
And you were helping me, but I was also helping you. It's equitable. So I had many people saying, "Oh, I'm going in there for, lunch. Can you give us, something back?" I was like, "No, the line's over there, and you can wait, and you can pay for it."
No way.
Yes.
That is impressive.
I want to make a statement. I've never paid for my sandwiches.
Now I will say.
Yeah, I paid for
Now
his.
I will say. There have been people come in that don't ask me for shit, and now my hospitality kicks in.
Yeah.
I want to give you.
that's who
I
you
want to
are.
give you a real good experience, but not because you're coming here asking for it. Because you give me the opportunity to make the decision whether or not I'm going to let you pay or I'm not going to let you pay.
I think
And
it's fair.
so now many influencers do go there and they don't pay because we've established friendships.
Yeah.
Now they're there because they support us. I support them any way I possibly can. But
I love that.
but I think it's equitable. It has to be.
I think that's
that.
important.
Yeah.
So the original question I had earlier was, I was there last week with Kiko, and I tried.
I can't believe that's your first time, though. You gotta get.
No. I've been before, but this is my first one going to. I went before when it first opened, when I come back from vacation, and I loved it. I went alone to experience it.
We haven't even talked about los batidos.
So wait. This is what I was gonna get it. Wait,
I don't want
my
to.
favorite. But I tried the croqueta.
Okay.
And I loved the croqueta. And it was nice and crisp in the outside, and it was soft and creamy on the inside.
Yeah.
And I was actually looking at the texture. Talk to me a little bit about that product.
This one-
I think it's underrated.
Listen,
I think it's
Seth,
underrated.
So I'm gonna.
Seth, if you're listening,
I'm gonna.
Seth knows.
So I don't
Burger
make
Beast
croquetas.
knows.
Okay.
It's the only product I don't make, and I'll tell you why. It's too. There's way too much labor, and I'm not built for it.
Okay.
So there's a company that does them for me. We just know how to cook them.
Got you.
It's about holding, and it's about frying temperature,
Frying
and
to it.
it's the No, it's also the quality of the oil. So we have been able to find the right temperature. We clean our fryers every 2 days.
The only owner that says what he just said.
I don't.
The only owner says that we don't buy, that we don't make it, we buy them somewhere.
I don't.
Nobody admits that.
Nobody.
No,
I just
no,
want to
I
go
don't
on the
make.
record.
I don't make my croquetas. I don't
Okay.
make, and I have never said that I make my croquetas.
Do you want to give a shout out to the person who does, or that prefer not to?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay.
No,
Now,
no.
I don't want to.
No, but I will say this. It's a respectable company.
Okay, good.
And the only ones that are fried to order, so
Yeah.
even though he doesn't make them, you still get
We
that
fry to order.
that little crispy
No,
crunch.
it was just very consistent. It was very consistent. Like the color on the outside and everything.
And the
was
sauce,
consistent.
the sauces
sauce
también.
is phenomenal.
That's one I don't like.
The
I'm gonna be
sauces we
honest
make.
with
Which one?
you. That little lemon one that looks like jizz.
Which one? The mole?
Is it
The white one? I mean, it's the only one that looks like jizz.
that one?
Unless you got green jizz.
Lemony?
Okay, so we have 4 of them, right? We have.
Almost like a
Let me explain.
like a dulce leche, like a
Dulce leche.
No, we're about to go try and go eat something
Okay,
right
listen,
now.
listen.
I'm starving, bro.
Okay, we do the garlic.
cilantro one's
We
my
do,
favorite.
we do the garlic. Okay, cilantro aioli. Okay,
And the garlic
we have the garlic one. The garlic one is very simple. It's garlic. It's garlic. Well, I don't know. It's fucking jizzy. It's 4 of them. There's only one that's jizzy. It's ivory.
It's that one.
That's the mole one, bro.
It's that one. I don't know about that one.
That's the one you put on the pan con
It's real
lechon.
simple.
yeah,
It's
I didn't
orange
want to
juice.
dunk my pan con lechon. I wanted to eat it straight up.
Everyone loves it with their Cuban, man. Believe it or not, it's a
I love
really
all the
popular.
sauces. Just that
it's a
one,
really
I don't know.
popular. But I would never have it with the croqueta.
No.
Yeah, we never do that.
I didn't need it. I didn't.
No,
need it.
No, you don't.
That's all I got, Dan. I got to say.
But you would never put that. You would never put that on the pan con lechon because you have cilantro aioli in there.
So
my pan con lechon I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect.
I want to know,
Yeah.
Sanguich, Danny, what are your top 3 croquetas? If you had 3 croquetas, what are your top? Not counting yours.
Oh, that's easy.
Go ahead.
Okay,
give it to
Isla
us.
Canaria, Tinta and Cafe, and I would say 3, huh? I would say 3.
I hadn't heard of the second one that you said, though.
Tinta Cafe?
Tinta Cafe. We got hammered the last time, but we didn't mention them.
Yeah, I saw it. And Nettie, I love them. They're solid people. They don't make a Cuban sandwich like we do.
Is a croqueta still a croqueta based on a little ball for you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's Spanish.
Yeah,
And I would say, I don't know. She hasn't done them in a long time, but I would say Michelle Bernstein when she had Senora Martinez and she had her.
The old
I can't wait until they
the
open
old
up here,
mail
man.
joint.
I can't help. I can't wait till Michelle. And
You don't know about that. The old post office used to be
right on
Senora
38th
Martinez.
on 38th and
Never
Northeast Second Avenue, man.
She made a great croqueta?
Macho. When she had Mishi's,
Michi was the first restaurant where Miami food
where that
was
Mimo
to
is,
to the forefront. Like it wasn't more chains. It was like the first
she was killing
chef-driven
it.
restaurant.
She was killing it, bro. She was
That
killing
was
it.
world
Her
of shit.
croquetas. She was doing her fig and manchego. Oh my!
How many people copied that?
Everybody did, bro.
No.
But I would say that the top 2 contenders for me, I love La Canaria,
Tinla and then Tinta
and I would say
Cafe.
Tinta and Cafe, and the third Macho. I don't know. I mean, I really love ours, but you know what?
What about Sergio's?
Help me out. No. I mean, all respect to them. Help me out here.
I mean, there's a ton.
Dos croquetas?
No. I like croqueta. I mean, they make a solid product, but so we're talking about the best, right?
Yeah.
Shoot, man, they had a pop up.
Masa Craft?
Masa Craft.
Everybody mentions Masa
Masa
Craft.
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 And he's got that brisket one at the Apocalypse.
And I'll tell you, I haven't had them.
Shout out to Masa. Send me some
Yeah,
croquetas, bro.
Masa, because the last time I had your croqueta, we were doing that event with Seth at the.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. Seth is the one that told me about your croquetas, the motherfucker.
Yeah,
he
but
loves you
it's-
and shit, but he's like, hey, you go talk to your boy. I'm
it's
like,
true.
about what?
Yeah, but it's
told
true.
me the whole thing, and I said, as long as they're fried to order, like you said,
It's fried to order.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
They're
All
fried
right,
to order.
so
All right.
Wrapping it up.
So can I just now say it's Masa? It's in order of importance. Isla Canaria, Tinta Cafe, and Masa Craft. That's
Yeah.
mine. Those are mine.
So, wrapping up, what do you have coming in the future?
Yeah,
Anything you
what's
wanna
going
discuss,
on?
or-
Yeah. So the idea of the company
Is something in Vegas still happening or no?
No. I think it's really important that we. I don't know if I'm going to continue building in Miami.
to talk
I'll
about
be
it, I just
honest.
wanna know.
No, I don't know if I want to talk about. I don't want to spit up, right? Because that
was amazing.
always. But I don't know if I'm going to continue building.
Don't worry,
in
don't
Miami.
worry. Tell us what you got. Don't worry.
Listen, I don't know if I'm going to continue building in Miami because it's really difficult building in Miami. There's too many impediments.
People you're talking about
But the idea is that I want to have 500 stores in the next 5 years, and so it's a very big undertaking, and that requires an incredible amount of mental wherewithal and really great partnership to do it. And I want to do it protecting the integrity of your experience here in California.
It's a big project. Why don't we invest in that shit, bro?
You let me know, man. I mean, with somebody like
put
this
the
at
cash. I
helm-
made the connection.
With someone like this at the helm, you do feel comfortable.
I'm telling
investing
you,
in
he's
something.
Thank you, guys.
Manic,
Thank you,
manic.
man. Thank
Hey, a real pleasure meeting you.
Yes.
This is one of the nicer ones.
And listen, if you guys want to try his pan con mite, or if you got personal beef with him on his Cuban sandwiches, we'll
do
show
it-
up to them and we'll have a
come
have a
podcast.
Cuban sandwich off, and you
do it
bring
here.
whatever you got.
Yeah.
We'll get the top 3 here.
Primo, I love you to death. Say hi to Rose.
Thank you, Bubba.
The
I
kids.
appreciate it. Thank you for having
continue
me.
it.
I appreciate
Sandwich
it.
in Miami, baby.
Thank you.
Miami's number
We're
one
gonna go
Cuban.
eat something right now.
Let's
or-
go.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.
Starving.